having a wonderful day. Can I speak? I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. Let me get this camera right. Sliding board in the back. There we go. I see Thorand is in here. There's a couple of people already in here. Cool, thanks for joining. And Mitchie says, morning, y'all. Mitchie's on the left coast. He's not in the central contained state of Illinois. He's in the on the left coast of California. Now, I make fun of the stuff, but it's, you find your happiness wherever it is. That's what you have to do. There we go. Let me turn this down. Obviously, I'm coming through. So you got to find your happiness wherever you're at. That's really what it comes down to. And that's a little bit what I'll get into in this video. Good morning, warrior. Hey, Paulie P. Happy day. Good morning for some. Good afternoon for others. Today, actually, just thought about this. About an hour and a half, I think we have our full moon. I don't know what it's called. Who knows? Salmon moon or something. Some fish moon. We're having that right now. The energies of the full moon. I saw a video of Litecoin Lisa. She sent her dog, little Maltese dogs. I had a Maltese, and it was howling yesterday on the couch. Just ow, this little tiny dog howling like a wolf. And I said, well, the full moon is upon us. Maybe that's why. And well, how do they know that? Well, they just know. Sometimes you just know. It's inside of you. It's innate. Trust yourself. Express yourself. That's really what it comes down to. The title of the video today I put was, let me read it, Sovereignty and Sound Money. Oh, an interesting concept. Sovereignty, what is it to be sovereign? What does sovereignty really mean? And so I figured, what does it mean? We all have our preconceived notions or connotations. There's connotations and there's denotations. The dictionary version, the denotation, and the connotation, kind of what we con up, I guess, what we think it is or how we use the term. Kind of like citizen. What does citizen really mean? Does it mean what we think it means? I don't know. Maybe not. Do a little research on that, especially in the law books. What does citizen mean? But sovereign, I was kind of looking through the definitions and I thought, okay, well, what does a sovereign really mean? And the funny one, we'll go back to the funny one. One definition is one that exercises supreme, permanent authority, especially in a nation or other governmental unit. So you've got some sort of power, right? The ability to reign, one possessing or held to possess supreme political power or sovereignty. I didn't think you were supposed to define the term with a term, the same term. Then there's another one here. It goes back to a French word, and I can't even find it now. It means above. It goes back to the Latin, ultimately. I think that means above. It means above everything else. You're sovereign, you're above the law, above government, above everything, becoming a sovereign person. A lot of people will use this term, and I slip up and use it, sovereign citizen. Well, probably kind of an oxymoron, because if you're sovereign, you're above. If you're a citizen, you're a part of, you're kind of in the system, so to speak. You're a citizen of a state or a citizen of a U.S. citizen. You'll see that on a lot of forums. Kind of been looking at that a little bit more. So any of you have any resources, good research you've done on that whole thing. If you're a citizen, you're a part of it. And, every time, if you notice, you fill out forms under penalty of perjury, you're verifying that you are a citizen, a U.S. citizen. Well, what does that mean? Are we a citizen of the U.S.? Are we a citizen of, Washington, D.C., the corporation? Because a lot of people think that in 1871 we kind of transitioned from, what used to be the United States, I guess you could say, to the United States, or just United States. And it's not the same thing. So there's a lot of speculation on that. And I'm just curious, any of you have resources on that, send it to me. On my website, clintwestwood.net, there's an email up there. Send me resources because I'm really curious. There are a lot of people looking into this. And Wikipedia, which, anybody can kind of contribute to that, they use the term inaccurately. They say the sovereign citizen movement. And it's funny. The definition is the sovereign citizen movement is a loose grouping of litigants, activists, tax protesters, financial scheme promoters, and conspiracy theorists who adhere to pseudo-legal concepts. Kind of interesting that, you know, there's that bashing. Go look up RFK and Robert Kennedy and what Wikipedia says about him. You know, conspiracy theorist. Oh, it's terrible. Anytime I see that, it's almost a big red flag to me that says, maybe I should look into this more, because they're trying to badmouth it and trying to make it sound bad. So it piques my curiosity a bit. So yeah, sovereignty and what is and state national, you know, that's another term that a lot of people use. Interesting stuff when you really start digging into it and you think, is everything we were kind of told or what we volunteered into something that we shouldn't have volunteered into? Did it really start with the birth certificate, and then the social security card, and then the driver's license, and, you know, all the forms we fill out? I mean, are we misrepresenting ourselves? I think we're one thing and we're actually volunteering into something else. Something to really look at, I think. Makes you think, you know, what is, who really are we? Because we complain and we say, hey, they don't follow the Constitution. But if there are really two layers, or one layer and a layer on top of another layer, is it that they really don't need to follow the Constitution? They just need to follow statute and code, and they're really just doing what they're kind of telling you that they're doing, and we're just participating in it unwillingly, or I should say unknowingly, but unknowingly participating. So yeah, I'm interested in that stuff. I'm doing a lot of research on that, so I'm just curious, because there is a movement out there, and I'd like to get some more information on it. You know, that's what I like to do. Dig for a little information. A lot of people have done some research, so let me know. Shoot me an email. I saw earlier, just shifting a little bit to the crypto space. Well, let's back up a little bit. No, I can't even think of his name. Devin Archer, isn't that what it is? Devin Archer, the former business partner of the Bidens, testified in front of Congress yesterday, and he said that there were 20 times that Joe Biden was on phone calls with Hunter. And well, it's just because, you know, it's not, and Biden many times, you know, pretender Biden has said that, no, I've never gotten engaged in any of Hunter's business dealings, nothing to do with that. Yet he was on the phone 20 times with him, according to this testimony. Okay, what does that mean? Is it just one of those things where, oh, you know, I'm just calling dad, you know, and just I don't know why. You know, why is that if there's no engagement, no involvement? So a lot of things are coming out. It's something to pay attention to. And it looks like the exit strategy might be getting put into place, because I thought that, I don't know that this guy's going to finish his term. He doesn't look like he can win re-election against any of the candidates. He may not even get the nomination, because you've got a strong person with great knowledge that if in a debate, in the Democratic national debates, if there are any, would kind of really, he knows his stuff. RFK does. So I think that's a big threat to the Democratic Party, and it's definitely a problem for them, because I just can't see how they get through this and maintain Biden as the candidate for the election in 2024. I just don't see how they do it. So might be time to just maybe take an exit, health reasons, whatever it is, and Kamala becomes president. And then there's the theory that she'll appoint somebody like Gavin Newsom as vice president, and then, you know, he'll end up becoming the second unelected president of the United States, because that happened with Nixon. Nixon appointed Gerald Ford at one point, I think after one of the Rockefellers was vice president and resigned, appointed Gerald Ford, and then Nixon resigned, and Gerald Ford becomes president, and nobody voted for him. I think he was on the Warren Commission too, Gerald Ford. But he didn't get reelected after that. So that's an interesting thing. Maybe that scenario plays out. Don't know. Just something to think about. I did notice that the SEC was coming down on Richard Hart. If anybody knows him, the creator of the Hex token. And Hex really plummeted. It really went down quite a bit, you know, with that news. But you know, the SEC is still trying to control the crypto space, trying to get their nose into it, and it's it's an interesting ruling with the XRP thing, the Ripple thing, I guess you could say. I mean, I guess in the beginning, maybe it was considered a security, when Richard Hart sold it to the market, but right now, as it trades on the market, according to that case anyway, those coins really, or tokens really aren't securities at this point, are they? I don't know. I guess you could say a security is something that earns yield. If that's the definition, which Hex does, then, okay. And there's a lot of other coins like that earn yield that I guess could be deemed securities. But who knows? That's for the establishment characters to figure out. Congress has a bill working itself through. We'll see what that brings as far as crypto regulation. Don't know. But it comes down to, you probably want to look at those things if you really want sovereign money. If you really want something in your possession, you should look at those coins that allow you to do that are kind of falling outside of that. What that is at this point, who knows? Bitcoin only. I don't even know if that's the case, because I used the example of Satoshi mining Bitcoin before anybody else did, and it's kind of a pre-mine, isn't it? How's that fit up with the Howey test? I don't know. Just something to think about. Sovereign money, if you look at constitutional money, silver is kind of the money. And silver right now, I just looked, is under 25 bucks for an ounce of silver. Absolutely ridiculous. Kind of crazy how cheap that is for what it offers and how it has stood the test of time. All right, moving on. So the sovereign stuff, really. You're looking at the crypto market. I just want to look at that real quick. Bitcoin's under 29,000 according to CoinGecko. What I'm looking at, most cryptocurrencies aren't doing too well right now. Litecoin's moving up a little bit, which understandably so. This is the halving pump today, right? It might move up to $100. I don't know, and then retrace. But tomorrow, I'm not sure when it is, because what happens in the halving cycle of Litecoin, every 840,000 blocks that are produced, then it halves the reward. So when it gets to 2,520,000 blocks, that's when it halves again, because that'll be the third time, 840,000 times 3. And so that's how we know when it halves. The reward halves. We don't know exactly what time. We can estimate, because there's so many blocks to go, but the estimate is tomorrow. Sometimes it looks like early in the morning. The Litecoin halving will begin, and we'll see what happens. It's a different kind of halving event than Litecoin has done in the past. It just hasn't followed the tradition, or I should say the history of what it's done before. So who knows? It could be a little bit different this time, and what to expect. I see the federal government is going to borrow about $1 trillion, or have to issue about $1 trillion in debt here in, I don't know, the next month, in this quarter, the next couple of months. I mean, just to keep things rolling, because that's what they do. They got to create more debt. They got to create more money to service the existing debt. And as interest rates get higher, they have to service more debt. And it's something like $1 trillion a year now that is just interest on the U.S. debt. $1 trillion a year. And basically credit card fees, credit card interest that they're paying on this. $1 trillion. $1 trillion could go a long way. You could do the math on that, and how much would that be to the economy, the real economy, if you could use that and put it to good work. But instead, it just goes to pay interest. Playing that casino, that Ponzi scheme that we find ourselves in. It's not chump change. All right, so as far as crypto goes, it's not doing a whole lot, which makes sense, because I've talked about the 4-year cycle a little bit before. I still believe we're in a 4-year crypto cycle, because we have been, and until that's broken, I don't see anything changing. And right now, if you really look at the charts, we're in that sideways period where it's probably just gonna kind of muddle along. I mean, Bitcoin could go up to, just by looking at it, maybe 45,000, 48,000, probably no more. Come back down. It's going to be kind of caught and range bound until its own halving, and that usually kicks off for Bitcoin anyway. A greater bull market. You know, things change at that point. We'll see. We're in July. Well, no, we're in August. We're August 1st today, so we're muddling through it. And by 2025, we should see things change. We should see the upward, you know, actually even next year into 2025 and possibly peaking in 2025, according to the cycle. We'll have that big blow off top and everybody will be excited. All the retail will say, it's going to the moon. We're going to have this prices, you know, astronomical, and all the social media people out there on YouTube are going to be telling you, oh, this coin's going to go, this high and pump and pump and pump. And okay, it will. Probably will. Retail will come in. All the levers will get pulled behind the scenes because they understand that that's when the energy peaks, and you'll see a lot of good hype coming out of the mainstream news. You won't see the SEC doing what it's doing now, trying to scare you out of cryptocurrency. No, you'll probably see, oh my gosh, you know, cryptocurrency is such a great thing. It's a positive for humanity. All the great things that can be done. Meanwhile, they've got their CBDC ready to roll out, and mass of people in America and will look at it and say, oh my gosh, cryptocurrency and CBDC, is that the same thing? It's a good time to get educated right now and understand what cryptocurrency is versus a central bank digital currency, which is just a digital representation of the existing out of nothing vampire casino chip Federal Reserve note. Get sound money in your possession. Get those things that run on their own outside of government, that stand outside of government, because you want to have sovereign money. And what is that? That's money that will exist and continue to work when the government fails. So, not what we know as US dollars. That would be Federal Reserve notes. Look at the top of your bills that you have in your pocket, and they say Federal Reserve note. Doesn't say silver certificate, redeemable for $1 of silver. No, it doesn't say that, which would have been about an ounce. A little less than an ounce in some cases. But we don't have that now. Indeed we don't. Man, the cigars, look at this. It's weird. Daughter's making an appearance. Dogs are getting excited. And not sure what's going on. All right, so... All right, what else was I looking at? Flip over to Zero Hedge, you know, the Zero Hedge channel. Oh yeah, we've got a title here that says, the wheels come off the strong jobs myth. Job openings drop to 2-year low as number of hires and quits plunge. Yeah, not good. And when you look at the chart, it starts to roll. Statistics, the largest increase in job openings was in healthcare and social assistance and in state and local government. So jobs that really don't produce anything, jobs that are just kind of care tender jobs. Healthcare industry, there's a reason for that. Everybody's sick. You know, you keep getting poisoned, you keep getting stuff shot into you, and you keep drinking the fluoride that's in the water supply and hooked on all kinds of drugs. Yeah, a lot of side effects. So we need a growing healthcare industry to take care of these people, right? Heal thyself. But yeah, that's not a good situation. And I talked yesterday about trucking company. I think it was 99 years that company was in business, the third largest trucking company. Done, gone. Doesn't bode well for jobs in this economy. So where are the jobs going to come from? Better get some innovation going on. I know that, because you know, you can throw all this money that you want and print up trillions of dollars, billions of dollars, whatever it is, and try and fund the green energy movement. But at the end of it, you know, you can throw money at a bad project and it might create some temporary jobs, but long term, does it solve any problems? You know, again, government picking winners and losers. Is it something that you should be doing? Is it beneficial long term? Are you building out, you know, an infrastructure that will last? Or are you building something that's going to take constant upkeep and repair? Something that requires a lot of energy going into it and doesn't yield a lot of results on the backside. That's kind of what's happening with that. All right, shift gears to anything else. I looked at I was looking at JM Bullion. You know, like I said before, they say that the spot price right now for silver is $24.40. Gold is $1,954 each. On sale today, they have a tube of American Gold Eagle 1-ounce coins. A tube is 20 of them. For 20 coins, it's like this big, you know, this big around, that tall, 20 coins, 1-ounce coins, you know, coins that are about that big, like silver dollar size, a little bit less. 20 of them for $41,000. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. I get it. It's supposed to be a preservation of wealth, but man, that is a lot of money to me. When I see that much money being spent, that much energy put into gold, I'd rather put it in silver. Silver's a lot cheaper. You can get a tube of the same amount of silver eagles for, I don't know, I haven't looked, you know, 650 bucks, something like that, maybe 700. Wow, what a spread. And people say, hey, you know what? You got to carry all that silver around, man. That's a burden. It's easier to carry gold around. I get that. But when silver is valued at its fair price, it's not a big deal carrying it around. Because right now at $25 silver, yeah, okay, you got to lug a lot of it around to hold your value. However, what happens when it's $500 silver or $1,000 silver? Not such a big problem then. You can carry a lot more wealth with you. Guess what? You can carry a lot of wealth with you other than gold and silver. Crypto. You can actually carry millions of dollars with you in your head. Just write down a seed phrase. And you've got your private key, and you can walk anywhere in the world with that, and you can go buy silver, you can buy gold, you can go buy whatever you want. Go transfer it to the other currency when you decide to go somewhere. And then you're not gonna get the hassle, hey, what's that in your pocket? Oh, nothing. Well, pull it out, let's see it. Are you sure? But that's a wad of cash, same problems. They're going to make it difficult for you to move, to be able to be portable with your wealth. And that's one of the benefits of cryptocurrency. It allows that portability. It allows you to be able to transfer value over borders, across time, across, you know, into space. I mean, there's just really no limit on that, and you have total control over it if you do your research and learn how to do that. You can hold it in your own possession. You can hold gold and silver in your possession. You can hold assets in your possession. You can have a fleet of cars, you know, fancy cars in your possession. The problem is, you have a lot of real estate, a portfolio full of rental properties. But if you want to use that and cash that out and use that for something else, it's not very liquid, man. It's definitely not very portable. You know, think about it. You know, you got 10 rental properties, you know, making cash flow on that. Well, the economy takes a hit. Everybody's out of work, can't pay the rent. Then what do? Hey, this thing breaks. Okay, I got to go fix it. All right, I'm done. I want to sell this stuff. Well, what are you going to get out of it? Who knows? Who knows what you're going to get out of it? I've lived through the crash, the housing crash, you know, that started in really 2006-ish. It really started to roll over into 5, 6, you know, right into that time frame. And then, I mean, you had houses that, you know, a couple $1 million house ends up being, you know, worth $300,000. So, you know, don't get caught in that kind of situation either. You know, I'm not saying property's not bad. It better be useful though. It better be something that you can do something with rather than depend on somebody to take care of it for you, and depend on them to pay you to live there. And then good luck getting them out. You know, that's a burden in and of itself, trying to move people out of a piece of property. Not fun. I've seen it happen. It's not good. So, in this changing world, it's good to be aware of those assets that are available that allow you portability and liquidity. Just something to think about. Check the chat here real quick and see what we got going on. If I know what I'm doing, half the time I don't. Okay, so yeah, we got Jim Montgomery in here. We got Stephen in here. SD Bullion selling Silver Eagle at spot, 1 per customer. Hey, cool. Oh, it's a good deal. Nice. Yeah, if you can get a deal like that. Got it. It's good to be seen. Yep, Thorand. Daddy O's in here. I saw Paulie P in here. Mitchie's obviously in here. He's all over the place. Yes. Okay. Yeah, futures ruin the game. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, when you can gamble on the price of things, whether it be, you know, anything. It can be crypto, can be gold, silver, can be, commodities of any sort. When you can start gambling on them with futures, you can kind of rig that market, manipulate that market a little bit. It serves a purpose. However, the original intent has been completely abused by the monetary vampires that are out there. They can manipulate the prices and really make it difficult for someone that just is looking for fair value in a real market. And right now we don't have real markets. We have manipulated markets. So what's the price of anything? I guess the price of anything is what is someone willing to pay and what is someone willing to sell it for. That's where you get into a real market. That's why I use the analogy of the water out here, and everybody's like, I don't need to buy that. It's a nice day. It's cool out. I don't need a drink. I didn't even bring my water out today. But what happens when, looks like it might be glitching a little bit. Just watching the video here. Not sure why that would happen. It's a pretty good connection right now. But yeah, if you got water in the desert, it's a whole different value proposition. How much is that bottle of water worth? It's worth whatever you've got so you don't die. So if you got a pocket full of gold or silver, you're going to give it up just so you don't die. Or you can die and then somebody's going to take the gold and silver anyway. You're crossing a border and you're trying to get out. What are you going to do? You're going to smuggle diamonds out like people used to do? Don't get me going down the diamond rabbit hole, even though I brought it up, you didn't. But yeah, go look into De Beers, D-E-B-E-E-R-S, and how they've manipulated and controlled the diamond market to make it look like it's scarce, artificial scarcity. That's kind of their play. Make everything artificially scarce so that you think that, oh my gosh, I need to pay more money for this. And whatever reason it is, the fact is though, if you control the supply chain of it and you control the actual product and you don't make it available, well, you can drive the price up. Just like fuel, for instance. Hey, we got plenty of oil in the ground, but we don't have enough refineries. So you can't bring that stuff to market. You can get a barrel of oil, but what do you do with it? I need it to be in gasoline, so it needs to be refined. Well, the refineries, we can't get any new permits, there's a supply crunch, we can't get it through. There's not enough refineries to get the gasoline onto the market. So, so you pay more. A lot of artificial scarcity going on. That's kind of their game. Just realize that you're getting shafted. That's kind of what it is. The way it is. Yeah, diamonds definitely are a scam. Take her breath away. Yeah, absolutely. A diamond is forever. Show her how much you love her with a big rock. We've been mind controlled, people. I mean, that's all they do is mind control us. Get you into a big scam. Get you to buy into it. Get you to opt into it. That's everything. That's all it is. That's the more I've found. We've opted into all this stuff. We've allowed ourselves to participate in this. We've allowed ourselves to say, yes, okay, I agree in the illusion, and I'm going to participate in the illusion. At some point, we got to break out of the illusion. We got to say, okay, enough is enough. It's all an illusion. It's all a magic trick. I'm done with it. I'm not paying attention. I see the game. I see how you pulled the bird, you took it and you did this, and you pull it out of your sleeve. I mean, you see once you see it and the magic trick, it's all done. Homage to Pee Wee Herman. He went into the magic shop. Remember, he's, trick gum, It's all a magic trick. Francis. Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Pretty funny show. Again, I've talked about this before. Don't necessarily, throw the artist in hell. Kind of look at the artwork for what it is. Otherwise, everybody would be in hell, all the artists. Pee Wee Herman had his issues in his real life. But if you look at what he put out there, he put some pretty funny stuff out there. There's a lot of people like that. I don't necessarily agree with their lifestyle, but, I'm not one to, as long as you're not hurting other people, if that's your choice, then you are who you are. And I'm just going to look at the art and what you produce and judge that on its own merits. It's like a painting. If you knew what went on in that artist's life and what they might have done, would you change your opinion of that painting? And you may, but it doesn't negate the fact that painting, that work of art, literature, that whatever work of art it is, does something to inspire you. And if it does that, then it does that. Regardless of how it came about. Just something to dwell on a little bit on that side of things. All right. Yeah, just looking at the, don't call me Francis. a little tip in the crypto market. We saw a pump the last couple of days, if you were watching, in Bitcoin Gold. Now, Bitcoin Gold, there are a lot of forks that came off of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Gold was one of them, essentially, you know, created out of nothing. I mean, yeah, the Bitcoin blockchain was running, but then they fork it, and then you get all this Bitcoin Gold because you had Bitcoin prior. But it's found its own marketplace, and it's been traded. There's 21 million of them that exist. They have 10-minute blocks. You know, and I saw it pump from like, I don't know, 11 bucks all the way up to like 20 bucks, maybe 21 bucks. Now, just know that because I tried this, some exchanges, they take 300 confirmations before they will allow you to do anything with that Bitcoin Gold, because the network's not that strong, and it can be reversed and, you know, strong armed and 51% attacked and all that stuff. It's for your safety. But 300 confirmations to transfer a Bitcoin Gold, you know, to make it usable, to be able to use it on an exchange, and that's just one exchange. Others have different, you know, limitations, I guess. But know that not all cryptos are the same. You know, just because, you know, you do hold it and you can transfer it from peer to peer, you can still do that. But if you're going into an exchange, if you're going into a trusted, you know, resource or, you know, platform, they do require some things. And I mean, 300, that's like 2 days or something, you know, before that's available. And by then, you know, the price is dumped. I don't know. That's why I like Litecoin. I don't have to worry about it. Very liquid on every exchange, very easy transaction, very quick, not hard to get rid of, not hard to use. Functions as money. Pretty good thing. So just something to pay attention to. Manny's in the house. Very awesome. I see we got like 13 people in here. Marcour80 or Marcour 80. I'm going to say it that way. I think that's what it is. Very nice. It's a nice Tuesday. It's the 1st of August. And we're well into the 3rd quarter now. We're going to see, I think, some things start to unwind. I mean, I look at the stock market, and it's still riding pretty high, you know, soaking up that inflation that's been created. But we've got a lot of truth coming out, and the truth kind of exposes a lot of the fraud in the system, and I'm seeing more and more of it every day. Pfizer was down, I think their profits, I don't know if it was year over year, same time this year compared to last year, down by like 54%. You know, maybe they don't have that government stimulus anymore to put out those things that you stick in your body. You know, so the free market is starting to say, we really don't want your product. So the truth is leaking out. Very important to pay attention, very important to do research, very important to just see things in maybe a bigger picture. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that a lot of the truth will be absorbed by people and they'll see it, and hopefully we all decide individually to make a change and say we're done supporting this or these entities. Do not have faith in anymore. We've seen through their magic tricks, we've seen through their illusions, and I think we need to really start doing that now. It's just, I feel like we need to do that. So on that note, I guess I'll wrap it up. I don't have much more to say. Just kind of want to go over a few things. Tomorrow's the Litecoin halving. Pretty cool. Only happens every roughly 4 years. As I said, every 840,000 blocks. Creates less Litecoin coming onto the market. Makes it more scarce. A tougher asset to get a hold of. And we'll see how the market reacts. Hard to say. It hasn't reacted like I thought it would. And, you know, I just go by history, and history is a little bit different this time. You know, it's playing out differently, and we'll look back and probably understand why. But right now, it's interesting to go through it and see exactly what how it pans out. So do your own research. Trust the things that have value, that resonate with you. Understand that the system is not looking out for you. It really is a vampire system that just wants your energy. And if you volunteer your energy into it it will take it. It will allow you to put that energy in there. So it's a good idea to, if you're not happy with it, well, pull that energy out and start doing something else with it. Find ways to do that. So again, like the title of the video says, sovereignty and sound money. Again, any of you have links to cool sovereignty stuff that you've been doing research on, shoot them my way. I'd be interested to take a look at it. You can go to my website, clintwestwood.net. Right at the top, there's a place where you can email me and send me some information. I would be happy to receive it, and I would appreciate it. So, all right. Hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday. And the full moon is upon us. Different energy shifts. Litecoin halving tomorrow. We'll see what it brings. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I love you all. Always trust yourselves. That's what you got to do. You got to trust yourself.